Hey folks, how you guys doing? Hope you are all having a great Tuesday this week, or a great Tuesday so far. Hope your Tuesday's going hope your Tuesday's going good. Great way to start a video. Last week I didn't do any of these vlog videos. I just had some other stuff going on and just was a little bit busy. Thanks if you're watching this video on my website. I mentioned it previously, but I'll probably continue to do so. It really does help me out if you watch these videos on my website. So if you're watching there, I very much appreciate it. If you're just watching it on YouTube, then that's fine too. But it does really help watching it on my website. So if you want to show your support without spending a dime, you can do so by just watching all this stuff on my website. Next thing on the list is stickers are still continuously always going to be a big thing. If you would like a sticker of mine, you can purchase it on my website or do a sticker swap. Send a self-addressed stamped envelope to my address, my post office box, P.O. Box 33, Mathiston, Mississippi 39752. We moved and that post office box is a little bit closer. Speaking of move, I feel like we've been in this house forever now, but I was doing the math a little bit ago, and we've only been here for 3 months. So much has changed in 3 months. Oh, my little girl had her 1-year birthday over the weekend, so she's 1 year old. That's crazy to think about. Like, yeah, she's 1 year old. She's 1 year old, and she's right there. I don't know if you guys saw that, but look at that picture. Anyway, I've got some projects upcoming for her, so that's going to be a fun new adventure for me, making baby stuff. I have a giveaway going on my website right now. We're going to try and do one giveaway every single month with Bits and Bits. So bitsandbits.com. I'm doing some work with them, and I have a continuously running promo code. So if you're out there looking for router bits, then I'll have a link in the description. Use that link, use the promo code JBates15, and you can always save 15% off on your router bit purchase. CNC bits, just regular router table bits. They're continuously expanding their lineup, and some good quality stuff. They've got an Astra coating on their, they dip their bits in an Astra coating, which reduces friction, helps the bits stay sharper longer. So if you're interested in router bits, I'll have a link in the description below to use, but also I have a giveaway on my website, and I'll have a link where you can enter that. We're giving away 2 router bits this month, and that ends the end of September. We're gonna try and keep doing this every single month. So that's pretty cool. I love being able to work with companies to not only benefit myself and my business, obviously, but also benefit all of you guys out there, because without you guys, I wouldn't have a business, as far as the content creation side of things. So I want to include you guys in as much as possible, whenever possible. Let's see, Alexa. So I've got, I mentioned on Instagram, a little bummed about, this is the 1st gen Amazon Echo, I think is what they're called. I always call them Amazon Alexa, but it's an Echo. It's a little more than 2 years old, I think, and it's died, and they don't do anything about it because it was, well, it's over 2 years old. So it's over the warranty for these, which, if you ask me, that sucks. An electronic device only lasting 2 years, and I ranted about this on my Instagram, so I'm not going to go too deep into it now, but it's annoying that you pay this much for an electronic device that won't even last 2 years. Well, won't even last 3 years, I'll say. Anyway, this is dead, and I figured, well, it's going to go to the landfill anyway. Why not give it to somebody who might do something creative with it? So, ooh, there's a mosquito in here, and it's on the camera. It wasn't a mosquito, it was a bug. Oh, there's another one. Anyway, why not do something with it? This is going to drive me nuts, guys, sorry. Why not do something with it that might be creative? So I'm going to send it to my buddy Jake Thompson. If you guys don't follow Jake Thompson, he's a real creative and fun guy, and produces some pretty cool stuff. So I'll have a link to his channel and Instagram and all that. Be sure to give him a follow. He's a real good guy. But I'm going to send it to him. He's been doing some epoxy stuff. I don't really get into working with epoxy other than using it for an adhesive. So I'm gonna give it to somebody who might do something creative with it. He may not do anything at all. He may just throw it away. But having one of these inside of an epoxy pour, just, I don't know, it's not something you see every day. Might be interesting. So there's that. Let's see, since the last time I did one of these vlog videos, the video on the nesting chair and selling the templates, that was a bigger success than what I had anticipated. I thought it was going to perform well as far as selling those templates, because it's a product that allows other people to make something precise and very easy. It's very easy to accomplish that, or to complete that project. So I thought it would do pretty well, but it exceeded my expectations, which is always good, which produced a little bit of a backlog problem. We had so many orders come in immediately that getting them out, we just couldn't keep up with production. And I say we because I knew for a fact that there was no way that I was going to be able to cut all those out here and still do what I normally do, and then order shipping supplies and then ship them out. I am not an order fulfillment business. So I contacted a company I've been doing some business with, and they handled the order fulfillment on it. They're laser cutting them. They're laser cutting them much faster than I can cut them. And so if you ordered a template and have not received it yet, please be patient, and they should be there soon. And this is a completely new process for me and working with this company. So if you have any issues, concerns, whatever, shoot me an email and we'll get the problem or a situation resolved immediately, if there is any. So there's that. And then after that, a lot of people asked if I would sell the CNC files. So I have those for sale on my website as well. The longest template is about 36 inches long. So your CNC does have to have the capacity to cut 36 inches in length, at least one direction. So there's that. If you go to my website, up in the top, I added another section for CNC files where you can find those there. What else? Oh, so yesterday when I'm recording this, Sunday, I published a video on this assembly table, which I made a little while ago. I was delaying publishing the video for it because it was a sponsored video and I had to get it approved and all that stuff. And so there's a little bit of a delay process with that. But anyway, so many people beat me up over this project, which I don't really care about anymore as far as like dealing with negative feedback. If it's justifiable, like, if you do something wrong and you get corrected on it, well, then it's a learning experience. But if people just don't like what you're doing, it used to really, really bother me. Now it's kind of comical. And I don't know, that particular video, just people, I've used the CNC quite a bit over the past year that I've had this one in my shop. And that one, for some reason, a lot of people were outspoken about their displeasure because they can't make it without a CNC machine, apparently. Anyway, I thought that was funny. What else about that video? Oh, a lot of people are asking if I could use, or why didn't I just use the CNC machine to cut the chamfer on all of these holes while it was on the CNC machine. And the reason I didn't do that, I have done that in the past, and it's a fantastic approach. The reason I did not is because all of the pieces that stuck out of the front of the machine had to be flipped end for end. So when you're cutting one side, you're cutting from the top to the bottom. When you flip it around, you're cutting from the bottom to the top. And on the bottom side, obviously it's not going to benefit you to put a chamfer on there. So I couldn't do it for the entire project. And if I can't do it for the entire project, then it doesn't make sense to stop the flow of working to add another step that's not even going to be a complete process anyway, because then you have to set the router to match the chamfer for everything else that you've done on the CNC machine, which isn't too difficult, but anyway, it's just easier to just do it by hand at that point. I still don't know which method is faster, using the CNC machine or just doing it by hand with just regular hand power tools. I don't know which one was faster in that regard, because I did have some challenges with using the smaller CNC machine. Also, another counter comment to my denial of using the making the chamfers on the CNC machine, because I had to flip the pieces, was to just use dowel locator holes on the CNC machine as well as onto the material. And at that point, it really isn't that beneficial, because then it adds another step, obviously, with making those holes, making sure everything aligns. And also, I could only stick material through the front side of the CNC machine. So it would add a little bit of complexity as far as making sure the holes in the CNC machine and the holes on the tabletop all the pieces, I should say, are through holes, and then you'd rotate. Anyway, it adds more complexity that way. The overarm dust pipe on the CNC machine prohibits a full width sheet from sticking out the backside. So there's that. The tilting cart was a huge hit in that video. So I was going to move the camera. I'm not going to move it. I'll just show some B-roll footage, I guess. The tilting cart that I used to put the plywood on the table saw, man, I've had that cart well, I had it in my last shop, but I never assembled it simply because Rockler sent it to me for working with Rockler. And I never assembled it because that shop, I just simply didn't have the space. It was so crammed in there. And at that point, I wasn't needing an extra work surface. So as it is in this shop, I use it all the time for a work surface because it's mobile and I can go from station to station with a bunch of parts. It's really handy for that. But I never assembled it because I didn't have the space to use it as a folding plywood loader helper thingy. And in here, as soon as I used it for the very first time, it was like a light bulb just went off and I'm like, huh, that thing is handy. It is super handy if you got the space to use it for plywood like this. So anyway, that was one of those unexpected things. It seems like every video has some type of unexpected audience response that you just never see coming. I never saw people just gravitating towards that cart. But anyway, it's a cool cart. I'll have a link down below. It's an affiliate link. Next thing on the list is I'm thinking about getting another bulk quantity of hardwoods. So in my last shop, a couple of years ago, I found a sawmill in Tennessee that was selling 1,000 board foot bundles of hickory, 4/4 hickory. Actually, they were more like 7/8 of an inch hickory, not 4/4. But they were selling a big, large quantity of standing still and almost tripped of hickory for $350, which is crazy good deal. It's 35 cents a board feet. And I think actually after my fuel going up there and back, I think it was like 42 cents a board foot. So that was not only a great deal, but it also allowed me to have a tremendous amount of hardwoods on hand for any random spur of the moment project. Not only a project but also for just like generic whatever kind of testing. You know, it was very inexpensive. If you think about it, like the cost of 2x4s at my local home center is about 88 cents a board feet. So it's actually cheaper to use that particular that particular bundle of hardwood just to experiment with stuff and can just basically consider it scrap, whatever, rather than using 2x4s, right? So it was very handy to have on hand for multiple of reasons. And I'm thinking about doing something similar, getting another batch here. I ended up having to sell about half to a quarter of what I had left after using it for a full year or two because it was just in a bad location on the side of my house. Now at this place, I have plenty enough room for storage both inside and outside the shop. So I'm thinking about doing it again. It's very convenient. So I contacted that company and they do have larger bundles, but they've gone up on their prices to I think 80 something cents a board feet. And at that point, it doesn't make sense to drive 2.5 hours north, close to 3 hours north one way to take advantage of that deal. So I've been shopping around at other sawmills around here, and I found one about 40 minutes, one southeast direction of me that has ash and oak at $880 per thousand. So 88 cents a board feet, basically. And I might get a whole bundle of ash. And it's all #1 common. So that'll be a good candidate for having inexpensive hardwoods on hand to, you know, make projects and just experiment with stuff. I might do that. Also, my buddy Chad Fletcher at Goodwood Sawmill in Pontotoc, Mississippi. He's on Instagram at Goodwood Sawmill. He's the guy I got all this babinga from. He does some importing of exotics, but he also is in the process of, or has just gotten, I'm not sure, a kiln, and he's going to be drying domestic hardwoods. So I may delay just a little bit to see what we can do with his setup as far as getting a bunch from him. I may not have enough time though, as far as just wanting to get some stuff here in the shop to start working with. But that's it. This week I've got some options. No, it's not it actually. I'm just looking at a bookcase. So this past weekend I was also busy in here refinishing a bookcase that I made a few years back. I made it's the white one that I painted white. And it I painted it white with latex paint. And you should always top coat latex paint with something like a water-based polyurethane if you're going to use it in a high wear environment like a bookcase. But it was one of those just situations with content creation, right? You get it done and you have a little bit of a deadline to get it published. So in that case, I skipped the water-based polyurethane step, painted it white and said, hey, it's done, blah, 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 for the video, right? Which it was done. I just didn't have the proper amount of protection. So I put it in place and my wife started filling it up. And of course the old, I'll get to it soon, right? That never happened. A couple years later, it's all beat up from books. It's crazy to think about, but books actually damaged latex paint. So I spent even more amount of work, rather than just doing it right the first time, sanding it down and messing with the latex layer flaking off in some spots. Is a pain in the butt to get it prepped for water-based polyurethane, but I sprayed that over the weekend, got it done. I was gonna make a video on that, but it's just boring, just refinishing a white bookcase and making it white. There's not much visual transition or transformation that you can show on camera. So I did that, been busy with some other stuff. This week, I don't know what I'm gonna make. I want to make something for my dad. I'm gonna go up to Michigan in the next month or so. I'm not exactly sure on the dates, but I'm gonna go up to Michigan and it's just gonna be a quick weekend trip, drive up on a Friday, drive back on a Monday. So unfortunately, I don't have time to do like a meetup or anything up there. Just visiting with all of my family, because hopefully I can get all my brothers and sisters there, my brother and all my sisters in one spot with my dad and my stepmom and all the grandkids, and we can get some pictures. We haven't done that yet, so that's mainly the reason why I'm going up there, is to get everybody together. Where was I going with that? Oh, I want to make something for my dad, so I'm thinking about making him some type of like decorative two compartment box. I made him some boxes 5 years ago, something like that, and I'd like to make him another one, just for the heck of it. So that might be something I do this week. Also, I just looked at the monitor. I've got to make this way. I've got to make filters for that thing. I want to make two filters to go on top of that to pre-filter, to filter the air before it gets to the internal filter without reducing airflow. That way that one won't clog up. It'll reduce the chances of it clogging up. Someone just pulled in my driveway. You guys take care, have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Or I'll talk to you in the next video.